Let's talk about the case of Jayland Walker out of Akron, Ohio. It's kind of controversial. I searched for the police dispatch audio and I want to take a listen to that with you. But first, let me explain what Akron police claim happened in the early morning hours of Monday, June 27th, after Jayland was stopped for some type of traffic stop. Akron police called it a critical incident of an officer-involved shooting. Police claimed they tried to stop a vehicle for some type of unnamed, unknown traffic violation at Thayer Avenue and East Talmadge Avenue. So this would have been about 12:30 a.m. It was after midnight, but it was Monday, June 27th. According to police, the operator of the vehicle refused to stop. A pursuit ensued. The suspect went southbound on Route 8 and officers gave chase. This is the critical portion that there's plenty of confusion and conflicting stories about. I quote, "During the pursuit, officers reported a firearm being discharged from the suspect vehicle." End quote. That part is controversial because I'm reading conflicting reports. Some reports state that Jayland Walker had a weapon and allegedly fired upon the officer's cruiser. When you listen to the dispatch coming up, you will hear the officer is relaying information to the dispatcher, and those are always hard to hear. And he's kind of going, I think they heard shots, I think they were fired upon. We'll listen to it together. The pursuit continued for several minutes until the suspect vehicle slowed down near the intersection of East Wilbeth Road and Claremont Street. Allegedly, the vehicle was still moving when Jayland fled on foot. Officers engaged in a foot pursuit in order to try and apprehend him. The suspect ran northbound into a parking lot. Here's another quote that folks are going, just tell us what happened. Quote, "Actions by the suspect caused the officers to perceive he posed a deadly threat to them." People want more details. What do they really mean? And of course, people want to see the Jayland Walker body cam footage. Supposedly, we might be able to see that body cam footage by Sunday. With 8 officers allegedly shooting him, there should be plenty of body cam footage, hopefully, to analyze. Hopefully, all officers involved had their body cams going. Maybe we'll see some dash cam footage as well. In response to the threat, officers discharged their firearms, striking the suspect. Boy, is that an understatement. What we can gather from all these reports, I've researched News 5 Cleveland, Akron Beacon Journal, and beyond, allegedly more than 90 shots were fired at Jayland. According to what reporters saw on the medical examiner's report, at least 60 of those shots may have hit Jayland. To hear it described is horrible. The reporters were not allowed to take copies of the medical examiner's report. They were only allowed to view it. Certain photos they may have observed, they don't know if some photos were the same wounds and just from a different angle, or if they were looking at individual wounds. But I tell you what, this sounds like the documentary 137 Shots. If you have not watched that Netflix documentary, 137 Shots, I recommend you do. It was a case where there was confusion, and it seems like a lot of similarities thus far, even though we don't have a lot of info with the Jayland Walker case. With the 137 Shots documentary, it was also local in the Cleveland area. There was a suspect who allegedly did not stop. At least one of the cops in question had a really shady past and a reputation for harassing the victims. So in that instance, when the victims were fleeing, there was the sound of a car backfiring, and that car backfiring caused at least one officer to panic, get on his radio and say, "Shots fired, shots fired." And if you see the pursuit of officers in that case, 137 shots. Just watch it. One officer literally jumped on the hood of the car and unloaded on the victims. Talk about overkill. Immediately with this Jayland Walker case, it's reminiscent of that. We don't know why Jayland allegedly did not stop. We don't even know allegedly what he was being stopped for. His family gave a great press conference today. It'll help to literally get the truth. The problem with this dispatch audio that we're about to listen to is that it clearly states the officers are thinking, or it's being relayed somehow, that they were fired upon. Conflicting reports are claiming that no weapon was found at the scene on Jayland. Some reports are claiming a shell casing was found in his car. So whose shell casing was that? Was that one of the officers? Did Jayland really have a gun or not? There are conflicting reports which claim Jayland was unarmed. So which is it? Did he shoot at the officers? Did he ditch a gun? Was he unarmed at the time of the chase? Was he always unarmed? You'll hear a lot of confusion. So let's take a listen, see what we can find out as we wait for the body cam footage to emerge. The officer spoke and warning the dispatcher, tell the front desk, Akron is in a pursuit right now.
By the front desk, Akron's in a pursuit right now. Sounded like a gunshot got fired at that unit.
Subscribe to
Mike
Plunder.
cleared to fall behind a unit to let another Akron unit with him.
We hear one officer say, sounded like a gunshot. And it goes off and on. Gunshot at their cruiser, very hard to hear. From the suspect's vehicle, and you can tell the officer he's talking to has to clarify what he's even saying. The first thing he said was, all I heard was Akron and shooting.
All I heard was Akron and gunshots.
Getting off at Talmadge, an Akron unit in pursuit of the vehicle, then with a fire with a gunshot was just at their cruiser from the suspect's vehicle. There's no unit with that car. Got permission to fall behind at the time being to get more Akron units with it.
One officer had to ask, so the suspect shot at Akron's cruiser?
So the suspect shot at Akron's cruiser?
And he said it sounded like a gunshot.
It sounded like a gunshot. The cruiser then tried to get away from and moved across the roadway to dodge the vehicle gunshots.
And then he responds, cruiser tried to get away from it moved across the roadway to dodge the suspect's gunshot. So to hear them talk about this kind of second party or third hand or what have you, it sounds like, according to police, they made some kind of traffic stop or something was wrong. We don't know if it was with his car, with the way he was driving. Who knows? We have very little info. According to police, Jayland kept going and let police tell it. He's perhaps, leaning out the window, shooting at them? And this is very diametrically opposed to what the family's lawyer stated today. In the press conference, they call Jayland, who was only 25, a really good person, never in trouble, no criminal history, no criminal record. Why does the Jayland that his family is presenting, and they don't want his image to be that of some thug, just another black male killed by police? They want truth to come out. So as this story is gaining traction, I'm trying to find as much truth as possible. And it's very frustrating when you hear one extreme claiming he was totally unarmed. Oh my goodness. And then you hear this other extreme claiming, no, he's firing at officers. We will see what we find out. When they held the press conference, the lawyer and family had not been able to view the body cam footage yet. Their lawyer stated that hopefully they will view the body cam footage by Friday, hopefully within the next 24 hours. So by Friday, July 1st, the family and lawyer at least should be able to see the body cam footage. It might be quite a bit, even though I think the whole incident only took about 4 minutes total, I've heard. If you're viewing from all these different angles, it might take a while to watch and absorb and then hopefully relay to the public what they've seen. I've put in a public records request for the info. We'll see what happens if I can bring it to you. But all I know, in Akron, they've already canceled certain festivities for July 4th weekend. There's normally this red, white, and blue rib cook-off thing downtown Akron, and I think everyone wants peace. The family is not calling for people to get crazy and tear things up. They want answers, and they want peace, and they want justice. The problem is, it sounds like overkill, kind of no matter what happens. Everyone wants officers to be safe. Everyone wants the good officers who are out there fighting for justice day in, day out. Of course, they want them to come home safely to their families. They thank them for the hard work done out there. But when you have an excessive use of force, you have bad apples, you have whatever happened, it just kind of puts a bad light on situations like this. So we want to know what really is the truth. I guess the family tried to relay, why do you see all these other horrible incidents and officers are able to bring people in without them being harmed? According to reports, officers did allegedly deploy tasers. I'm not sure what happened there. I cannot tell police how to do their job, but I think when we start talking about 90 shots being shot at a suspect, it makes you wonder, was there no way to de-escalate? And if Jayland really did run or flee, or what happened? Did he panic? You know, this is why you don't flee. There is a reason for compliance. If he really did panic and flee the scene, or he was afraid, or what have you, it's not the way to react when you're stopped. If you're stopped, even if something is wrong, even if you don't have everything in the right place, your registration or your license, or even if a tail light is out, these are the reasons why you sit there and you offer your information and make sure everything is correct to the best of your abilities, and you and the officer prayerfully can go home at night without a tragedy like this. So stay tuned. I will keep up with updates with this case. Let's close with Zechariah 14:9. The Lord will be king over the whole earth. On that day there will be one Lord, and his name the only name. Thank you so much for watching.
I'm assuming you're monitoring that Akron call.